Notebook check, draft 2 check, sample 1 check, submission next week. I have 3 more days to do a particular look. So nice! Can I see? Can I see your sketchbook? Can I see how you do these? Oh my god, we're passing something tomorrow. Have I done it? Have I done it? No, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Am I done with it? I haven't slept yet. I've been doing this the entire night. Do you understand? Not freaking bother me. Ma'am? I think I need a timeout. I accidentally sewed my finger. Okay, dear. Go to the clinic and check if it's too deep, and then you will have to get a tetanus shot. A shot? Ma'am? 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 I think I can't. Let's move on to serious things, so see you in a minute. Hey guys, it's Renee here. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do. Anyways, this video is about a survival guide to design school. So, as promised, since school is about to start, I will give a few tips and tricks as to how I survived design school in Singapore, and I hope this helps you guys in the long run. P.S. All my views and opinions about design school is all just relating to my personal experiences, and this does not showcase fashion design school as a whole. This is all just based on me. So yeah, this is just my 2 cents worth, and again, let's proceed with this video. I have a notebook right here, so if I'm looking down, it's because I wrote down a few notes regarding this video. So about fashion design school, depending on where you go, fashion design in general is a very extensive course. So there's always a misconception about how in design school you already need to know how to sew or know how to draw, basically. And I feel like that's a myth. In design school, they actually teach you how to sew, they teach you how to illustrate, and I guess for me, one of the biggest advices I could definitely give is to do self-studies prior your design course. So for me personally, before I started with my fashion design school, I've been sketching for years, just figuring out my style, just experimenting around, and I guess that's the fun of it because you see yourself grow. So I have around 5 tips to give you guys prior entering your school. So first of all, is as what I mentioned earlier, is to do self-studies to slowly understand what you want to be known as a designer, in terms of design, in terms of what do you really want. Do you want ready to wear? Do you want made to order? Do you want avant-garde? Do you want slow fashion? So that you get an idea as to which direction you want when you enter design school, because your lecturers would push you to where they think you are most flourishing in, and I guess you have to show them where exactly do you want to go, because they would be pushing you, but if you don't know yourself where you want to specialize in, then that's a big problem too. But then along the way, in design school, you also realize, at the start you would think, I'm a women's wear designer, and then you realize halfway through design school that you actually love menswear. So there have been those cases in design school. So this is just a bit of a mini preparation for you before entering school. Aside from that, also doing self-studies on illustrating would really help you personally, or also getting to know Photoshop, Illustrator. Just getting a bit of it will go a long way once you enter school. Another thing is you have to practice sketching even if you're not good at it yet. We've all gone there. I've been sketching for so long, and until now I'm still like working around which style I want for my own personal aesthetic. So this is another important thing. It is to label your supplies: rulers, scissors, fabric scissors, and paper scissors. Make sure you label them because surprisingly, in design school, your rulers will get stolen. And that is not because they just get stolen. It is because you are in such a hurry. Some of your friends are in such a hurry and they are stressed for their lives. They will just grab and take any ruler. So that's just one way to find your rulers and your scissors once again, since they can be quite expensive, especially if you are investing in scissors that are really sharp. So they could cost about $50 in Singapore, especially if you get Kai scissors. I will link all the materials I am saying to you guys now below, so it will help you guys in the long run. So just a bit of a background on paper scissors and fabric scissors. Make sure that your peers don't end up using your fabric scissors for paper, since it will kind of make your scissors a little rusty. During my studies, I use Kai scissors, and they have been with me throughout the 3 years. I didn't really have to change until someone kind of grabbed my scissors and I don't know where it went. That's the only time I had to buy. But a pair of Kai scissors would be a really good investment. Plus it cuts fabric like butter, so that would be really good, especially with your projects. For threads, I would suggest that you guys get multiple quantities of black and white or cream, since you will be using these colors a lot in your projects, and I feel that at least you don't have to keep coming back and forth to the shop to get more, to go back, get more, when you could have just been working on your project. So this is it's more of stocking up in case you lose, or in case the teacher or the proctor requires you to use the overlock machine, which is around 3 to 4 spools of thread. Next is drafting books I suggest. Let me just take it. Okay, I would be suggesting 2 books, one for drafting and one for illustrating. I couldn't find my book, it's somewhere around the house, but 9 Heads is a good illustration book. It will teach you a lot about doing the right proportions on things. So that was the book we used in school to really study the figure of a woman. And in that book you will get to see like how to do different types of poses in specific. So there's that. And then this is the drafting book I swear by. I live by this, especially during college days. It is the Pearson New International Edition for Patternmaking for Fashion Design by Helen Joseph-Armstrong, the 5th edition. So this book is by Pearson Publishing. It is this thick. The cover looks like this, and it basically has everything. From dart manipulation, which is the basics of drafting, to making your own template, making your own making your own body stencil, to doing different types of designs. They actually have different samples and different drafts inside. And then here's the personal measurement chart. So if you are doing made to order and for example, your lecturer would require MTO or personalized sizes, there's a guide here that will help you in terms of how to build up the bodice or the skirt or whatsoever. Aside from that, they have a lot. They really have a lot. So there are a lot of designs right here, as you can see. So it has from couture to normal blouses to pants to jeans and everything. And this is a really helpful book. when my friend, after we finished our drafting 3, which is the last leg of our 3 lessons, 3 subjects under drafting alone, we all just lean towards this book if ever we have any questions. And I guess a lot of us really depend on this book, especially if we have questions about tailoring, because this book also has different kinds of sleeves: tailored sleeves, raglan sleeves, bishop sleeves, and whatsoever. It depends on your school, but in our school, we were taught that way. We were taught that if you're gonna do a bishop sleeve or a flared out sleeve, you have to cut it into multiple sections and then spread it out. Although, if if that's not a main part of your course, this book will really help. So here is it. Here's the book again. So there's that. And like what I mentioned, 9 heads for sketching. And I know there are other books relating to fabrics. I will just put a list below to help you guys. On the other hand, tips when entering design school. First of all is to prepare yourself for both the fun times and also for the hard times, because fashion design, like what I said earlier, it's not the easiest course. There would be days you really wouldn't sleep. If you look at my IG stories, I have a personal highlight of how I would be up so late at night and I wouldn't really sleep. And that's reality of it. People usually see only the glamorous side of fashion. They don't see how difficult constructing clothes are, because when you make one mistake in the draft, it can be a very big mistake when you see it on the sample dress or sample top. Another thing is, while you're in practice, never stop practicing. Even if you're out of school, if you have the motivation, if you have that drive in you, keep practicing, especially for drawing, because in drawing you really need to work out your hand. Aside from that, as you keep practicing drawing, that's where you will realize your personal aesthetic when it comes to illustrating. And also, never stop looking into old, like, historical sketch artists or illustrators, because that's where you can get inspiration. Back when I was in school, our lecturer in drawing class would always challenge us to mimic these illustrators to get a sense of, to understand their sense of drawing, their style of drawing, and how drawing was very different in the past years. Aside from that, you have to keep experimenting. My lecturers would tell me before, one of the ways you would be unique in the industry is when you create your own textiles. Have fun with it, explore fabrics, look for swatches. I'm pretty sure, especially here in the Philippines, there's a place called Taytay Divisoria where you can get fabrics at a very cheap price. Experiment around it, practice, and maybe just cut up a bit of swatches, play around with it, manipulate it, use beads, use embroidery, do whatever. You can even use miscellaneous stuff like maybe safety pins, use eyelets. There's so many different ways to make your own design very unique. Drape the fabric also, or go into knitwear. And really, personally, textiles became a part of what I really loved about fashion. If you guys knew me back in second year college in design school, I was not really the most fond with textiles. But back when I was in my last year, my lecturer actually pushed me to do textiles for my capsule collection and also for my grad collection. So with that, it made me really think, because once you experiment with things, you end up your imagination goes to a whole new level that you never thought, oh my gosh, I actually thought of that. You will have that eureka moment in you. So for me, understanding yourself and knowing and pushing yourself to your full capability would really also help. Lastly, And most importantly is to never stop learning, because that will get you a long way. You can't say that you're a 10 out of 10 in design school, because there are so many different ways to innovate design. Whether you want to go sustainable, whether you want to go high fashion, there are just so many ways. So you can't, if a judge asks you, rate yourself from 1 to 10, you can't just give yourself a full perfect, because you have to constantly be learning, you have to constantly be growing. And of course, when you're in design school, never stop being curious. Because when you have a curious mind for things, it will take you to places, it will take you to ideas that you never thought would ever happen in your whole life. I remember starting in design school, I was clueless. Clueless with design. Oh, clueless with design in a sense of construction. I was clueless with what kind of topics should I do for my grad collection or for my collections? What kind of designer am I in reality? Like, me personally, if I were to be asked, I'm a designer who wants to tell stories through the clothes I make, through the experience I've gone through, and through the observations I've seen, and through ideas I want to be challenged. So that is like one of the things you will figure out throughout your whole journey in design school. And I'm telling you, once you have the willpower, the drive to learn, you will go a long way. So with that, I just wanted to end this video, and I hope you guys learned a bit or have a few insights regarding it. This is not really a how-to video, but more of a something based on personal experience. And I can't believe I'll be studying again in a month time. So by then I'll probably give you guys more insights, or maybe I'll do a part 2 of this. As what I mentioned earlier, I will be linking the stuff below. I will be putting the details of other things I haven't mentioned in this video. So thank you so much for watching, and this is Renee de Guzman. Again, please subscribe and maybe give this a thumbs up if you like it. But I'll see you guys on the next. Bye!